Hey there, and welcome to day 8 of our Amazon 10K challenge, where I take a product from $0 all the way up to $10,000 a month on Amazon. This is day 8, so we are in phase 3. You can see here the find the supplier phase, and today is the exciting time that we're going to actually be putting out a buyer request and finding what supplier we're going to go with in order to manufacture these scratch maps, which we've decided to sell together. So if you haven't seen the first 7 days, definitely go back and watch that and then meet me back here. If you have, let's jump straight back into the video. Actually, before we do, I'm in Melbourne now, just got in today, staying at my parents' house right now, and I'll be here for about 2 weeks before we go up to Mexico to visit a couple of friends up there, then back to Manila. So I'll be traveling with you throughout this whole journey, and we'll be launching the maps hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So fingers crossed on that one. Our expenses. So as you know, we call them investments because they are investments in this outcome that we have of $10,000 a month. We've still only spent $166. I really want to get that up. I really want to order our first batch of products, which will be 500 scratch maps. Again, if you're not familiar with that product or haven't been watching, definitely go back and watch the full series and meet us back here. We are innovating on the scratch maps. We wanted to get them easy to scratch off, beautiful in design. We'll make them nice and big. We'll make them simple, and we'll make them nice and thick. I think we're going to actually go up from A to GSM based on a recommendation from one of you, actually. So thanks for recommending that. We're going to go extra thick. And before we jump in, I wanted to make sure you are a part of our Amazon FBA private Facebook group, where I can answer your questions and everyone else in here is going through the same process as you, and they can answer your questions and you guys can connect and talk about your successes and failures and learn for each other. Link is in the description. If you haven't got the Amazon FBA Masterclass yet, definitely get that too. You can save $200 by clicking the link in the description. But for this video, we're going to be going over to Alibaba, submitting a buyer request, or an RFQ as it's called, and we're going to have hundreds of suppliers look at that listing that we submit to them and bid on our business. We're also going to be reaching out specifically to individual suppliers to make sure that they're seeing our buyer request, and we're getting to reach as many suppliers as possible so we can come out with the best deal with the most trustworthy and easy to work with supplier at the end of the day. So let's jump into that now. Don't miss out on this. We are giving away an Amazon product idea that I personally found that will make you over $5,000 every month, $1,000 of PayPal cash to buy your stock, and a fast-track Amazon FBA coaching session to ensure that you launch your product perfectly. To win, all you need to do is subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment below why you want to start an Amazon FBA business. Enter now, then let's jump into this video. We are on Alibaba's website. Now, we walked through this yesterday together and had a quick tour of it. Today, we're actually going to start taking action and reaching out to our suppliers in 2 different ways. The first one is by far the most powerful way, and it's called the RFQ, which is, you can see down here, you submit this RFQ, or you tell everybody, you put a listing out, basically what we want, and then all the suppliers are going to search for that, see that, and contact us, and then we are going to accept the best supplier from them. That's the first way we're going to do it. We'll do that together first. You can see I've actually just signed in. I've signed up with a brand new account. It's not even verified. You don't need to verify. You don't really need to do anything except for create an account, and then click on to get to that page. One request, multiple quotes up here in the top right. So give that a click, come down to try now. All right, so what is the keywords of the product we're looking for? Now, these are really, really important because this is how the suppliers will be searching these listings. And if there are suppliers, for example, who sell scratch maps, they're going to be looking at these listings under the keyword scratch map or scratch off world map, whatever it is, the main keyword, that's what you want to put here. So scratch map is a pretty, you can see they're also going to give you suggestions. And again, the most popular ones are going to be at the top. So definitely go with that. So I'm going to go with scratch map. You can see how on the side here, it's rating how good our listing is over here. So we'll keep an eye on this and make sure we submit an excellent one so that we're getting the best offers and the most offers possible. Alright, how many pieces? I've worked out how many pieces I want. It's going to be about 500, and that's based on my budget. So you're going to have to, this doesn't have to be exact, remember, and everything here doesn't have to be exact. We can work back and forward with all the suppliers, changing anything you want. So don't feel committed to what you put here. Just put down roughly what you calculate you need based on your budget. And okay, so this is where we put in all the text. So here is a supplier template that Evan has created for you. It's supposed to be for people inside the masterclass. If you're not in the masterclass, what we're actually going to do is we're going to put it in the Facebook group. Once I figure out how to put these documents up in here, I'll be uploading here for you to get a copy of if you wanted to use that. And it's a little bit complex for exactly what we need today, but it covers all bases if you do have a certain requirement. So actually, let's just fill out in Microsoft Word over here together, and then we can copy and paste it in. So I don't actually need the table because we know how many that table is. If you don't know how many you want and you want to see the discounts they give for certain units amounts, you can keep that in. So I'm going to take that out. We're going to go through from the top. So dear supplier name. So we don't need that because it's a buyer request. My name is Benji Joseph, and my company is Odyssey World Maps. We are looking to expand our line of, so we're looking to manufacture a line of scratch off world maps, and here I'm putting in keywords so that they do come up when people when suppliers are searching this for customers, for our customers across the United States. We've been receiving quotes. We haven't been receiving quotes. I'll get rid of this. So this is going to be come in handy in the second phase when we're reaching out to specific suppliers. Right now I'm going to get rid of the parts that we don't need. We don't really need to, I'm interested in discussing the idea of working together. I'd like to speak to you in regard to the per unit price for the product, for the scratch map. That we have designed, like in the pictures attached, with our company's design, like in the pictures attached with our company's branding and logos on the product also attached. Okay, and remember, this is just a template to get started. I'm deleting a lot of stuff in here that I don't need. You might need some of the stuff. You might not need as much of the stuff that I need. So you can cut as much as you want. Just use this as a framework, and remember to add anything else you think your supplier will need. So colors, we don't need that. Specification. So this is what we do need. We would like to make our map. I'm going to go with 120 plus GSM just for a start, and we're going to see if that's possible. And basically I'm going to ask them when they reply, what is the maximum GSM that you have? 120 GSM. I think it was 32 by 24 inches. Let's double check that. So I'm going to come over to the one deer scratch map because he had the biggest, most premium one, and we'll see what size that is. That's this one right here. Here we go. For $55, a very expensive. Let's see if there's a GSM on this one too. He doesn't list GSM, so we don't know how thick this one is. So 31.5 by 23.6. By 23.6 inches. Black background with colored countries. We'll send specific Pantones. So Pantones are the exact colors, so there'll be a code for each color for each country. I'll have my graphic designer code out exactly what color we want in each country and send those through. With color, we can make this the US version of spelling. It's black background with specific tones, laminated, and then covered in the gold shiny scratch material. Now you can see I'm not being too exact and I'm not being 100% formal, because what I know there's going to be misunderstandings, and I know there's going to be a lot of back and forward anyway. What is important down here, as you can see, I need this sample in order to take photos of it and create the listing ahead of time without having to wait for them to manufacture all of it. So we're only going to need one sample in this case. You may need two if you want to send it to two different people, or you might want to use one and then use the second one for photos. But just stick with one if you don't think you need two. So I'm going to provide my logo in this buy request. So our zip code, I will be sending it to this zip code in Las Vegas. How long would it take? So put your own zip code in here. The sample. If I would like to pay using PayPal or escrow, if it is suitable for you. Cool. So these are very, very important questions that we want to get the answers to. So we've put a numbered list here so they can reply by number, and it makes it much more clear instead of hiding them throughout all the text. Any of the questions that we're asking them, we need to put in this numbered list right here. And now we can keep this one in. This is in here to make sure that they are offering you the best price as quickly as possible instead of having to negotiate back and forward a lot of times. To our other bids, we'll move forward process of working together. Our initial order will be 500 units, with larger orders following soon after. So make sure that you let them know that you want to be in there for long-term business. Best regards, Benji. Very much look forward to speaking with you. Please reply to, so you can put your email in here to have you be considered. Please reply. What I want to do, and I hinted at this yesterday, and what I love doing with all my suppliers to speed up the process and also to sort of weed out the ones that aren't that committed and to have the ones who speak really good English and are tech savvy, is I like to put my WhatsApp number in here. So I'd say please reply to, I'm not going to actually put my number in here now because I don't want to publicize it on YouTube, but I'm just going to put in basically a fake Vegas number. I think I put too many digits, but you get the message. I'll put my Vegas number in there that I use on WhatsApp, and I'll start getting suppliers reaching out directly to my phone really, really quickly. They'll start coming in within 5-10 minutes, and what they do is they have factory representatives who speak fluent English, and their job is to go out there and make you happy and get your sales. So they'll assign one of them to you, and they'll be your correspondent for the whole factory, and they speak English really well. And when you got them on WhatsApp, they're going to be very, very responsive. You can call them, you can video chat them, you can look at your samples. It's just 100 times easier than going back and forward on WhatsApp and waiting days between messages. It's also a good way, like I said, to sort of weed out the people who aren't willing to add you on WhatsApp and send you a message saying, hey, we saw your listing or your buy request on Alibaba. Because the companies who don't do that don't really care about your business, and you might be too small initially for them. So you want to go with the ones who are prepared to message you on WhatsApp. You can also have down here, if we have a lot of questions like we do, please reply to this WhatsApp number and send an email to be considered, and send your offer in reply to this RFQ. So I'm going to get rid of that. Much shorter than the template, because once again, you can cut as much as you don't need. Paste that in here. Okay, so the most important thing, remember, is that graphic that we got our graphic designer to do. And you got to upload that here now. So I'm going to come in and search for it. I called it the RFQ. There we go. Also, for those of you who don't know what RFQ means, and I didn't up until a couple of minutes ago when my dad told me that it meant request for quote, and he said to throw that in this video because it might be helpful for everybody, which I think it does. It makes a lot of sense. We're requesting for a quote. We're doing it in bulk so that a lot of people can message us at once. And that is my cat meowing at my foot. So we're gonna upload that. The one thing I see here is that we have accessories. I didn't include that up here in the description up here. So I'm just gonna come back in, and we would also like to include the accessories pictured below. So please let me know if that is possible. Now, like I keep saying, you don't have to be too specific in this request, and you don't have to be too specific in this text, because this picture is going to say the most, and you're going to have to go back and forward anyway. You're going to have to answer a lot of questions anyway, which is why I've got a WhatsApp number in here so that they can just message you on WhatsApp instantly, and you can go through specifically what you want in each step of the way, or each number on the graphic. So other requirements, let's have a look. So we don't need our FOB because we're going to get ours shipped express. I'm not sure what these other letters mean. It's not too important. I'm going to keep it FOB and put up here because I don't know what any of these mean. It's not too important. So I'm going to keep it up here and come up and put back in here. We would like our first order of 500 units to be shipped by Air Express, shipping to the USA. Is clear enough. Preferred unit price. So we've got up here, you can see we've got a rating of great, and if you put a unit price in, our unit price is going to be 6. You can see it's going to go up and push you into excellent. I don't want to put anything in here. I don't want to confirm that it's FOB, so I'm going to leave all of this blank so that we can talk to them on WhatsApp. We don't anchor them at a price that's too high, and we see what their first offer is. So even though it's not excellent, we're going to keep it at great because I think it's going to be better for us long term. Now, I'm not actually submitting this one right now because what I want to do is I want to come in and change my phone number and add a couple of details so that they can actually reach out to me. But I would recommend doing urgent request or extra quotes because it's so cheap. It's $13, and once again, it's an investment. The more suppliers that you reach out to us, you could be saving a lot of money in ordering from that supplier because they're cheaper or they're higher quality than the other suppliers. So I would definitely do that. Let's throw that into our expense calculator. If we go, not the expense, the investment calculator. So sourcing our product, $13 on the RFQ, which brings our total $179, and then submit that. And what you would see is you'll start getting quotes pretty immediately. I might actually submit that just how it is, and I'll come back and edit it and boost it. Manage my buying request. Okay, cool. So you'll see all the quotes will start coming up here for people replying to your RFQ. They'll start coming in pretty soon, I'll actually expect. What we want to do now is the second part of this, which is reaching out specifically to suppliers. So for the ones who don't see your RFQ, you also want them to see that you're looking to source, and they might be the best supplier for you. So I'm going to type in scratch map here, like we did yesterday, and all we need to do is we need to come in and click on, so this is not really the map, but anyone who does sort of this map, you want to click contact supplier, and you can just paste in the message here, and then attach the right document and send inquiry. And what I would do, and I'm going to come in and do this, is I would message everybody. So I'm probably about to send about 100 messages to all these people, because they're all different factories and they all could be the best supplier for me and our scratch maps that we're going to launch. So I'd go through one by one, just contact them all, and make sure they're not make sure they're the actual product that you want, but come in and contact them all. And basically, I have a lot of people asking me questions about suppliers. They say they can't really find the right supplier and they get stuck in the sourcing phase. It's because you're not reaching out to enough people. Just reach out to every single factory that there is on Alibaba if you're sourcing through Alibaba, and you'll definitely find a great price, because you'll be comparing them all to each other. You'll be able to find the best price and the best quality product. So what you need to do now after you submit the RFQ is not sit back and wait for those, although you can if you wanted to do that, is come in and contact each one manually and send them a quick message. You can also see if there's someone you like, they might be online, you can actually do a live chat with them like right here, and chat directly with that supplier and see if they're right for you. I wouldn't do that with all of them because it takes much more time, but if there's someone that you like, they have a lot of transactions or a high feedback rating, a high response rate, or whatever it is, come in and talk one-on-one with them in chat if they're online. There'll be quite a few of them online. So that's day 8 for you, and day 9 will be exciting because we'll start to get lots of people reaching back out, and we'll be able to make our decision on what supplier to go with, get the sample sent over, and then I'm guessing tomorrow we might even be able to start on our listing, which will be very exciting as we work on the graphics and as we work on sourcing it in the background. So thanks for being here in day 8. I'll see you tomorrow in day 9. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications.